Hey everyone, so talking about lead lists is usually not everyone's favorite topic, but it's actually really important for, sales and marketing and stuff like that. And I often see people kind of focusing on the wrong portion of their lead list. And sometimes, that is due to because people don't have a list of leads and they want to go out and get cold leads. But what I want to talk about today is some best practices and focusing your time on a specific segment of your lead list, and then ultimately kind of working your way down. So let's get into it. I'm taking a segment from a guide that I wrote, an ultimate cold email guide. So this is a section of that. So my name is Patrick Spielman. I'm the founder of Upticks, and we help B2B sales teams launch and automate outbound prospecting campaigns, lead nurturing, and stay insanely productive with our sales automation platform, Upticks. So let's get into it. All right. So as I was mentioning, people kind of fall in love with cold lists. So let's kind of talk about. And this is I'm going to start at the top and work my way down in terms of importance. So instead of focusing on cold lists, you really want to focus on hot and warm lists. And what do I mean by that? I mean lists that you already have in your database. Instead of going out and maybe trying to spend more money on paid ads or figuring out ways to drive new leads to your business, it's usually a best practice to utilize your hot and warm lists first for your prospecting. It's going to be a lot cheaper, and they're going to be a lot more receptive to you as a business because they've already heard of you. So it really just makes sense. It's a lot easier to start with that warm list. And you can even start with a list of current customers or even former customers. That's usually your best bet. And you might think that, focusing on current customers, well, what the heck am I going to do with them? You can do a lot of things. One, you can just stay in front of them. It's going to help with referrals. You can add value with them. And, you're just going to keep your brand top of mind so that they're consistently seeing your name. And when a conversation comes up with a friend of theirs or a colleague or, another business partner or whoever it might be, they're more likely to actually refer you. And that's a way of growth. I know it's sort of invisible, so you can't really see it, but it is a benefit to just keep your existing leads and customers, seeing your business name, your name, and just staying in touch with them. So using, a current or even former customers with your list strategy, you've got to do it. It's just a simple way that you can easily nurture that list and keep people coming back for more of your products or services, whatever you're trying to sell. And even former customers, even if you're a service-based business who got fired in the past, maybe there's a chance that they're going to hire you back. And so you don't want to completely go cold. You want them to know that you're still around so that if whatever problem you're helping them solve arises, that you're the first person they think about and not your competitor. So that's the list you want to start with. You really want to start with that. I'm getting into like a cold list. This is actually more of a warm list here. I've got a number of different kind of colder list types, but your, former customers, your existing customers, people that have given you a maybe, people have told you that they're not interested in maybe your product or service. Those are the lists you want to tackle first. So all four of those kind of go into this warm and hot list bucket here. In terms of colder lists, you first want to start with your social media network. And especially if you're in B2B, you've got to be on LinkedIn. And that's a way that you can easily reach out to somebody within your network. If you have a strategy to connect with your prospects and you're doing it right. And I've got a lot of training on doing that as well. So check out our B2B sales training playlist to check out some other, tips and tricks on reaching out and connecting with people on LinkedIn the right way. But you really should be tapping into that market. And so LinkedIn's a big one. Facebook groups are another big one where you can generate a lot of interest and, getting your name out there. And that should really be a starting point for your list building. And even if you don't have an email or a phone number or whatever it might be, initially, you want to work towards getting that. And again, the reason here is that you have something in common. With LinkedIn, you're either connected with them or in Facebook, you're in a similar group as them. And that's a little bit colder in the Facebook group side of things, unless you're friends with them. Obviously, if you're friends with them, a lot of people with Facebook this day and age are starting to connect more and more on the business front. So it's becoming more common that people are reaching out and trying to connect with you, to do business with one another. So, that could be a strategy as well, similar to LinkedIn. It's a little less targeted, but if you're joining the right groups, there's a really good chance that people are in the group, with a similar interest as you. So start with your social media network, and we're kind of working our way down. The next is our content marketing. So if you're doing any sort of blog, newsletters, white papers, ebooks, that kind of stuff, you want to, if in terms of outbound sales and prospecting, you can start getting into your content marketing. This is obviously another really good one. Although you don't have maybe a personal relationship with them like you might with social media, at least they've expressed interest in your business, your product, your service, whatever it might be. And it's somebody that, you could reach out to pretty easily, and they're going to be familiar with your brand. So these are lists that, you could really incorporate with email, with calling, or with video prospecting. It would be a nice touch to utilize some video prospecting in this process too. And I've got videos on all that kind of stuff on our YouTube channel as well. So check those out. The last option here is buying a list or web scraping. I know a lot of younger businesses and growth hackers and stuff like that. This is a starting point for a lot of people just to start generating some interest. It's not highly recommended to do, if you're, an existing business and you have, a really proven model with generating incoming leads, although you could use this to subsidize your leads, because one of the things with using an existing list is, either buying a list or web scraping would be that you have a lot of case studies, you have a lot of proof, you have some testimonials and stuff like that. One of the things you really want to keep in mind, because buying lists is really a gray area, there's legal concerns you need to be aware of, and you need to make sure you're not spamming people. You need to make sure you're giving them a way to opt out, unsubscribe from your emails, and you need to keep your emails or your outreach really, really personal. And what I mean is, don't just blast, thousands of leads at once. You need to do some research, and you need to actually see if these people are somebody that you actually want to reach out to, and if there's somebody that will actually do business with you. So you got to do your research. You got to put your legwork in here, and you do not, as I mentioned, just want to blast people. You got a lot of issues, and there's a different section of this training here, guide I have here talking about spam and avoiding that. One of the things you really need to keep an eye out for doing this kind of stuff are laws and landing in spam. So you got to be really, really careful with this. And this is why I put this, the last in my list here. It's a better strategy to focus on the rest of these with, any leads you've generated from content marketing, from social media, from, hot and warm email lists with current customers, former customers, people that told you maybe, people that told you that they weren't interested. Start with those, work your way down. And ideally, you're really not getting into this game. I don't want to give you legal advice and or anything, but you really, really got to be careful here and make sure you're following all the laws and you're doing the best practices for that outreach with that list type. So that's all I got for you today. Start at the top of this list, kind of work your way down, build your campaigns around this concept. These hotter and warmer lists are going to, yield more results a lot faster for you. So really try to focus on those. So if you found value in this video, I really appreciate if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so that you get an alert every time I launch a new video. Try to do 5 new videos every single week. And I'd love for you to check out Upticks, which is our sales automation platform. And you can get started absolutely free. I'll leave a link down below in the description for you to click and check that out. We'd love to hop on a call, kind of help you launch a campaign and get you started with that. So hope that you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.